Hello everyone! Welcome to Melissa's Musing. It's Tuesday at noon and I'm excited to be here with you guys. Some of you come on in here. It's a beautiful day in San Diego. I'm absolutely loving this weather. This is like my ideal temperature, 80 and sunny. Gotta love it. I feel like every day when I wake up to the San Diego sunshine, I just absolutely feel such an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Hey Nan, thanks for joining. I wonder if Yaya's gonna make it in. Yaya gets her weekly shout out as I manifest her being here. She misses it every time and then is so disappointed, but next time maybe I've got to call her first and be like, I'm about to go live. You might want to hop on. Hey John. So, I'm really excited to be connecting with you guys today about a message that has been coming through really clear to me in this past week. How are you handling life's unexpected curveballs? They happen to the best of us. They happen to us in our business. They happen to us in our lives. They happen to us with our friends. And oftentimes, things that are unexpected can produce a response. It can throw you on your ass. It can make you angry. You can feel sad. You could shift into happiness, but like typically something unexpected, unless it's like winning the lottery, often unexpected bad news can sometimes like throw us on our butt. And those unexpected curveballs can really set the stage for how we produce a reaction, right? We can respond in a number of different ways. What's been really powerful for me, a lot of you may have seen my post earlier this week regarding one of my really good friends, and a lot of you have been reaching out to ask how she's doing, and she's been pretty open on her social platform about her journey and what's been going on with her the last few days. So I'm actually going to use one of my really good friends as the subject of this musing, because I've been there before, and I have received unexpected health news. Yaya's here! Yaya made the live! Hi, Yaya. She's here, you guys. She's here. Give Yaya a thumbs up. She made it. The first musing at noon. Did you add it to your calendar, Yaya? All right. Back to where I was. Sometimes when we receive unexpected news, it can very easily throw us for a loop. And I feel like how we react to that news is a true testament of who we are as a human being. So last week on Thursday, I was at an event with Therese and the rest of the team. It was a real estate event, and we're at this event having a great time, and our friend had posted a picture of her face all beat up and bloody. And I had said, like, I just had a seizure, and I'm being taken to Encinitas Scripps. And I was like, holy shit, like, we got to get over to the hospital right now. So Therese and I left the event. We drove the team home. John and I were the DDs, so we drove the team home. And Therese and I jetted up to Encinitas to visit my friend. And the first initial scans showed something in her brain. Fast forward about 24 hours, she received an MRI, an EKG, CAT scans, all of the works. And I was there with her on Sunday morning as she received the news from the neurosurgeon that it was a 5-centimeter brain mass, a tumor that is going to have to be removed this week with no time to spare. And, I had trouble handling the information. I'm not going to lie, Sunday was a really hard day. I told a couple friends it was the most frighteningly real situation I feel like I've ever been in. I've only seen those types of meetings and those doctor experiences in movies. So to like be there, real life was really intense. It was like I really struggled through my workday on Sunday. Literally any time I thought about it, my eyes would well up with tears. I felt like this enormous weight on my shoulders, and I couldn't even start to comprehend what it must feel like for her to receive that news. But what has been so inspiring for me through the whole process and to like see how she's been handling the news has really been the biggest lesson in all of this, because I feel like in that moment she could have easily taken on a spirit of despair, a spirit of, I'm going to be in the hospital for how long? I'm going to have to do how much rehab? I'm going to, realistically be looking at what kind of treatment? And I feel like she could have so easily started spiraling down into just an epitome of despair. She's a much bigger person than I am, because I honestly don't know if I would have not been able to do that. The way that my mind is wired to think. Thanks, Mom. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. My shit is my shit. But the way that I'm wired, I often think worst case scenario. So it's not uncommon when I wake up with a really terrible stomach ache or have symptoms that remind me of my old SIBO experience to have a little thought like, oh, is this back? Or oh, what's happening? And it's not uncommon for my mind to jump to a worst case scenario. And what has been so amazingly powerful for me to witness through this process, and by being so close to my friend through this process, has been seeing how she didn't allow that to happen at all. She allowed herself the space to cry. She allowed herself the space to have a clear understanding and to ask the doctor the questions that she needed to ask him. She absorbed the information, she took it in, and she chose to shift into something really positive, which for me has been beyond inspirational to see. She stepped into a moment by moment, this is where I am in this second. We'll see what comes next after the surgery. We'll see what the rehab looks like after the surgery. We'll see what the treatment looks like after the rehab. She's truly taking it moment by moment. And yesterday I was there visiting her, and she's such a magical human being that she was literally her birthday's on Tuesday. And honestly, one of the most heartbreaking aspects for me being in the meeting with the doctor on Sunday was hearing her ask the question, am I going to be out of here for my birthday on Tuesday? And having him be no, there's no way. And seeing her take that in and being really disappointed and really sad and heartbroken. She fell apart in that moment, and that was so heartbreaking to see. And instead of deciding that she's not going to have a great birthday or that it's going to not be special, it's just simply looking different than what she had initially expected. We had an Airbnb planned. We had a dozen girlfriends all ready to have a celebration Sunday, Monday, Tuesday at this Airbnb that she had booked. And instead, what she's shifting into is having her birthday at the hospital, being in a really positive space. And yesterday, literally, I'm at her hospital room talking through legality and, protecting her assets and talking to a lawyer and all the things that she's trusting me as one of her really good friends to support her in. And she's like, can we focus on what's important? My birthday. I want pink and purple balloons, and I want a piñata. And she starts talking about her birthday being hosted in the hotel courtyard, or hotel, not even hotel, hospital courtyard. And it was such a powerful lesson for me, because I don't know if I would be that big of a person to not be feeling sorry for myself in that moment. I can't confidently say that I would be handling it as well as she is. She has been such an empowering, steady, moment by moment, I'm going to take this as I come type of person, and having that sort of reaction through something that is massively life-changing, monumentally life-changing. She's stepping into, maybe this is what's going to make me famous. I'm going to cure my brain tumor. Maybe this is what's literally been waiting for me. She's literally sitting in her hospital bed talking about what a master manifester she is, because she's having all of her friends visit. They're bringing her gifts and chocolate. She's able to watch the shows that she's been wanting to watch. She hasn't been able to take a hefty work break in 6 months. So she's look at me, I'm manifesting all the things I've been hoping for in the last 6 months. And now I get to manifest, meeting all of these people that are coming in. I get to manifest my health. She's been experiencing some really interesting motility issues on the right side of her body for about the past year, which now the doctors have determined have been small seizures. So she's really excited about embracing the fact that that's going to hopefully stop. And so it really brought up the question for me, how are you handling life's unexpected curveballs? We've had mornings, literally we had our biggest deal fall out, not even 3 or 4 months ago, on the day it was supposed to close. That was a really unexpected curveball. We basically let go of a over $40,000 commission on the same day that we got a $65,000 contractor bill. It was a $100,000 swing day. That was an unexpected curveball. I feel like I honestly, and I'm not proud to say this, I'm honestly pretty ashamed. I think I probably cried more tears, or at least, I haven't witnessed Anya crying more tears. Like, I almost feel like she handled the news from the doctor better than I handled that situation. Like, what a great lesson for me. So it really brings up the question, and it's been running through my head, as to like, how do we react to life's unexpected curveballs? And as a really close friend of my friend, I was really surprised when she chose me as one of her healthcare directives this week. I have supported her through her home purchase. I have supported her through a lot of like financial conversations, but I had no idea that this level of trust would be placed in me. And initially I felt really scared. I felt like really overwhelmed. I felt really uneasy. I was like, oh my God, like what if actually something happens and I have to make a decision on her behalf? And then I was able to shift that conversation because of the amazing example that Anya is. I was able to shift into, wow, how hard have I worked to lead me to this point where someone is literally entrusting them with life decisions. Like, that is so far beyond like a realtor or friend task, right? Like, that's powerful shit right there. That is really intense. So instead of feeling really overwhelmed and scared and frightened and horrified and like, oh my God, like what if something does happen and I am faced with this really difficult decision? I got to step into, because of Anya's amazing example, I got to step into like, wow, what a ridiculous and beautiful honor. Like, what a special person that she is to me and that I must be to her, to be chosen for this position, to take a stand for her should something happen, and to be like placed with that level of trust. And honestly, because I was able to shift that conversation, that responsibility feels so much lighter. I actually feel so joyous and so honored now that I was chosen for the specific task and like the specific job, for lack of a better word, I don't know, this specific task. But because of her example, I was able to shift out of like really menial and silly conversation. My ego and that ego conversation, that monkey chatter, that's never going to go away. And I can so easily think of worst case scenario, again, programmed that way. Sorry guys, that's just me. I'm often a worst case scenario thinker. And I get to really shift that conversation and be more of a best case scenario thinker. The same way that my friend is doing right now in what could be interpreted by many as a really dire situation. But instead, she is like, I have never seen more life flowing from somebody. Like, because of the way she's handling it, I am so insanely confident that this surgery is going to go so smoothly. She's going to come out of surgery probably more vibrant than any other patient they've had. When the doctor was discussing with her, things to expect and the fact that she might have potential mobility issues, she was like, does that mean I can't go for a run after surgery? Like, she's still using her humor and the things that are available to her to shift into something that's better, to shift into something that's going to serve her more through this journey. So, for those of you who've been wanting an update, she is going into brain surgery this week. We are unsure exactly of what the tumor is, simply because it's still inside of her brain. It's going to need a lot of testing to make sure as to the treatment that's going to be needed post-surgery. But the positive space that she's been in has been such a valuable lesson for me, and I hope that she's able to inspire you. Maybe there's an unexpected curveball that hits your, workplace or your life in the next few weeks or in the next few months, and you're able to think about the inspiration that Anya is in her own journey. Like, this is going to be no easy task. She could so easily be feeling overwhelmed or burdened by the fact that this is probably a several month-long journey. But no, she's taking it day by day. She's joyous right now. When I went in there yesterday to talk about legality and like her condo and all of the fun stuff that I get to truly support her on, because that's the way my brain works. I'm like all about the logistics. I'm like, oh my God, how can I help her in preparing for like the best case scenario here? The best way that I know how to do those things and to like see her in that space was so powerful, because like here I am, I'm like taking notes, I'm like writing down questions that I get to ask the lawyer, all these things, and she's like, can we just talk about the important things? Like, I really want to know what color balloons I'm going to have at my birthday party, and I really want to know like who you're inviting to it and what it's going to look like. And so I encourage that to be I empower you to let that be your encouragement when you receive your next unexpected curveball, because I know that I have had many menial curveballs tossed my way, and now in hindsight they seem so silly, and yet the way that I reacted could have been much more positive and much more supportive to me. It doesn't help anybody to like have a 3-day panic attack over something and to cry yourself into oblivion and to think worst case scenario, because hindsight's 20/20, and most often looking back on a lot of those dire experiences, for example, the one that I used, that $100,000 swing day for us, well, we were able to figure that out no problem. Took some of my logistics and it's still taking some hard work and several zero APR cards, but there was a solution. And perhaps if I had shifted into the solution versus a breakdown, maybe I could have better supported myself, maybe I could have been more efficient. I certainly know I could have wasted less time with my tears. So I think it's just been a really powerful week for me. I've been learning some really valuable lessons, and I hope that they resonate with you too. Thank you so much for joining in for Melissa's Musing. Yaya, I'm so glad you made it. I love you guys. Talk to you soon.